know that you are prepared to hear something nice. Well, we are live on Facebook as well and on YouTube. We want to say welcome to the Positive Forces Show, always giving you more, saying you positive vibes.
To change your lives.
I'm your host, Kimone Hall.
And I'm your co-host, Yola, Yoli.
Hey, and
Yeah, the host, Dwan, the therapist.
hey, Dwan, how are
Hey,
you?
y'all. Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing fine, thank you.
I
Doing
am good,
fine.
good, good.
Good, good, good. All right.
Yes, that was
So,
solid.
That's a lot of goods. Yeah.
yeah, that's a lot of
Mhm.
goods, right? All right. How was your week, ladies?
My week was full of changes. I feel like the theme song for this week should be changes.
Really?
Yes, all sorts of changes. And everybody, well, it was almost like there was a full moon and the earth was spinning on another axis
Uh-huh.
and the seasons are changing. And everybody was just, it was almost to the point of being chaotic. Everybody was like turned upside down. And, like
Yeah.
the pressures showed up and the stalkers showed up and the strangers showed up and the liars showed up and all of these people just
Mm.
showed up and it just threw my group that's usually a pretty close knit even killed group just upside down.
Hmm.
So that was my week.
Oh,
And then on
man.
top of that, I'm suffering from allergies. So every now and again, I'm coughing. So like Thursday night was horrible sleep for me
Mm.
because I woke up like at 2 and then at 4 and I was just coughing. It was horrible. But
Oh
other than
no.
that, today is Saturday. I am
Oh
alive.
my God. That's a
Sun
lot.
is
You made
shining.
it. You made
World
it.
of the great Bob Marley, and everything is good with the world. Yes, yeah.
All
How
right.
was your week?
I have no choice.
Not as adventurous as yours. My week was good. I had a good week. Let's see. Went to work, had trainings, just having a good time, back in school, and just continue with research. So other than that, doing well, doing well, doing well. Just enjoying life. Yeah.
Hmm.
I would say taking a hard life easy.
Nice.
I like it a way to put it.
Let's open up with prayer, guys.
Heavenly Father, Lord, remind us that you are always with us, even when things are hectic and we have that lifing week. Remind us, Lord, that you're always with us and with your strength and your endurance and your need and want and love to always seek us out, always knock on our door. Just want us to open the door when you knock and take our time to find you and seek you in all things. So I pray, Lord, that you remind us that you're here for us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. That's good.
Amen.
Good. That's good. All right, we want to see you guys. We know that you are here with us. Go ahead and put in the chat. Go ahead and let us know that you are here. Want to say welcome to Viscosity Blend family and Hiatus Radio, Reggae Global Radio, and You Choose Radio. We just are elated that you are with us each and every weekend from 4 to 5 p.m. and on 6 to 7 as well. So we just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so we don't have a Yoli's thought for the day, but we do have a great topic that we want to talk about. We're going to be talking about looks, character, personalities, all of that in a relationship. Which one's better? All right, because some people will say, let's just say, we got to figure out. Okay, so we know what looks are. Looks are your, what you look like on, appearance. Then you have your personality, and then you have your character. So go ahead, the therapist, go ahead and tell us what's the difference. I know. What is
Well,
personality versus character? Hello, Deborah. Blessings to you. Thank you for being with us.
hi, Deborah. Okay, so I'll start off. So basically, character is somebody's basic and core beliefs, their morals and principles, right? And then personality is how somebody expresses their character. So
Right.
there you go.
So the
Key difference.
characters are their core beliefs, what they think on the inside, their mindsets, what they've done
Principles. Mm-hmm.
mentally from their families, right? Their principles, the core of them, right? And then the personality is what?
How they express
How they
them.
express the character. How they express their character. The
All right.
characteristics.
Okay,
Okay.
how to express it.
So
Okay.
character is how focuses on how somebody actually is, and then how they appear to be is the personality.
Ah, okay. So when we
Mhm.
meet, so when people meet each other, all right, let's start with
Mhm.
that. When people meet, maybe they meet on a dating site, they met somewhere, they hook up, whatever. They always bring that personality that's
Mhm.
supposed to be
Hi.
what they want to draw the person that they think they want. Hey, baby boy.
Say hi.
The person that they want
Oh, yeah.
people that they are, right? So that's their representative, that's their disguise, that's the person that they're gonna put their best foot forward to say, hey, this is me, right? And we always say, don't bring a representative, bring
You.
you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We don't want to see a representative. We
yeah.
want to see you, whatever that is. You don't need to bring a representative because at the end of the day, you're going to have to be your real person.
Yeah.
So, what's
Right.
the point of bringing the representative?
The thing.
You can't really uphold a representative forever.
Not forever. Your real
Representative,
character is going to show through eventually.
exactly. Representative
Oh,
lasts maybe what, 3 to 6 months for the really good representative, 9 months to a
It can last
year.
longer than that. Yeah.
good liar, right? A good liar.
It can
So
Oh my
last
God.
longer than that.
just bring yourself because I think there's so many people in this world that somebody is going to align with the real you. You know, you're not the only person that is that way. So there is somebody out there that will align with you. So there's no need to bring a representative. There's no need to pretend to be someone that you're not.
Mm, mm.
Mhm.
That's
No, that's
exhausting
true. That's
anyway.
true.
You would
Mm.
think so, but so many people
Mm-mm.
learn how to craft their personality. You can craft a personality because it's around image creation, like how you relate to the public, communication styles, and like how you manage all of that. So personality is really something that you can craft. So that's why a lot of people come with their representatives because it's something
Have
that they
made.
created. Yeah, the character
Yeah,
you can't create that. That's your core, the core of who you are. So.
And
right.
and some
Mhm.
people they've done it for so long that they start to believe that's actually who they are.
I kind of wonder now that you say that, I kind of wonder if people, if you can convince yourself of who you would like to be. Like if you're crafting a representative and you keep pushing the representative, after a while, do you actually become your representative? I wonder. Have you ever encountered anything like that, Dwan?
I have. I have people that create to the point where they start to have, split personality and they start to believe that they're the other person. So yeah, people
Wow.
definitely do that. You just buy into what you created because that's what you think that people want. Or if you, let's say like somebody that never really likes basketball, but they're all of a sudden like really into basketball because the other person likes basketball. So it's just trying to fit in or get somebody to like you for something that you kind of don't really intuitively like. So,
Because
mhm.
eventually you can become to like I'm with my man and he loves basketball and I don't like basketball and I start to watch it. I act like I do and eventually I start getting into it. That's what you're saying,
Yeah,
right?
it could be in a good way and a bad way too.
That's
Like
why
somebody
right.
that's good and then they like hang out with a bad crowd and they start to shift their
Right.
personality. But it can go both ways.
Oh my God. Then you become mentally ill, right? And yeah, split personality, kind of schizo acting.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
it's a lot. It's a lot.
The
In
truth,
extreme
though.
cases, yes. In extreme cases.
That's extreme cases. All right.
Yeah.
So the non-extreme case, the regular day-to-day would be okay. Well, you know, maybe what if is it bad? Okay, say I want to be a certain person, person that likes something, and
Mhm.
typically I don't like it, but I'm like, you know what? I like it now. I'm gonna try it out, and I want that personality to be mine. Or I've seen somebody exude a personality trait that I like, and I'm like, you know what? I want that, and I start to become it. Then that's just you changing your character, your personality, and
Mhm.
it's
Shaping it.
so at that
Mhm.
point, it's fine, right?
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Okay.
Hmm. I agree
All
with
right.
that.
All right. So character now. We're gonna get into character a little bit, and then we're gonna target all of them. So we've asked. I've seen where someone asked which was better, looks or character in a relationship, and a man said, "Let's be real, looks. Let's be real. It's just the looks." And they
Hmm.
said because you're gonna see the person, you're going to be attracted to that person, and eventually, yes, you do find out their character, but because the looks pull them to the person, then that was most important to them at the time. I can learn the person's character, get to like it or not, but
Hmm.
actually it can still work because this is the person that I physically want to be with.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I used to always think that, oh, this whole idea that looks aren't important and it's a person's personality or character that's the most important. But I actually think they're all important and they all play, whether it's a man or a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I need to see it's your looks that I'm attracted to, and then I get to know you. But do I
Hmm.
think that I'm attracted to your looks and then I learn your character and your personality and now it might work because I was attracted to your looks at first. No, I don't think so. I could be attracted to your looks
Mm-hmm.
and then I want to get to know you and you want to get to know me,
Mm-hmm.
but I might not like if your character is based on your core values and I figure out that our core values don't align,
Mm-hmm.
well, then it's not going to work, right? And
Hmm.
that's just in theory. Because, of course, there are people that will ignore someone's character even though you don't agree with it.
Yeah.
There's some people that might be like, oh, he is such a jerk, but you'll deal with them anyway. I don't know if it's
Hmm.
out of desperation or if it's out of you ignoring the red flags, or if it's because you are just so caught up with his looks, which I think is also possible.
Mm-hmm.
I think that some way, somehow, there should be a balance of all of them. And I think sometimes we might do too much on looks or too much on
Hmm.
character, and there's no real balance between the two. So then you end up saying, oh, he looks so good, my man's so fine, but he's a jerk. And then you're like,
Right.
okay, he's a jerk, but he's not a jerk to me.
Oh.
He's just a jerk to the person that's working at the Publix line. So it's okay. But deep down inside, you know that if it were you, you
Hmm.
would not do that. And then
You don't
how
like
long can
that.
you actually sustain that behavior? Because I actually think at some point he's going to be a jerk to you. And then what you
Yeah.
going to say?
Is that real?
Yeah, because that's who he
Right.
is.
Oh,
Yeah, he's a
Hmm.
jerk, right?
Right.
What do you guys think?
yeah. I
I
think
think
it.
character is the most important thing because that's the essence of who someone is, and
Mhm.
eventually, like, the other looks draw you in, yeah, the personality draws you in, but like you said, like once you get past all of that, what is left? So you want somebody that exudes the um characteristics that you want to align with. So like for example, somebody's characters, like if they're honest, they have virtue, they're kind, and if they have none of that and it's just based on looks, like what do you have after that?
Mm,
Hmm.
okay. Okay. Well.
And I will say that I have seen a case where somebody um, put looks aside and
Oh.
just went for what they thought was somebody's personality. But then when they got to know the person, they were like, well, you know what? I don't really like you that much.
Mm,
And then you hear all of the things that you don't like about this person, and it has to do looks, personality, and their character. So I'm
Mhm.
thinking the other person was just being a representative, and that's
mhm,
where I think it gets really dangerous. So there has to be some type of balance. I think the hardest part is finding that balance.
Mhm.
mm, mm, okay. So. Okay. All right. All
I
right.
think it's hard because people can cover up their character with the personality and with the looks. So you don't
And
really know what you're getting until you're in it too long, or it's too late.
yeah,
Mm,
and people can throw nice things at you, you
Mhm.
know, diamonds and gold and gifts and everything to distract you, right?
and you're just like,
Oh, this is so nice. He's so nice. He's so generous.
all right. All right. Let's go. Deborah. Deborah says. Welcome, Deborah. She said confirmation. I said it. I said this morning to someone. I said some people pretend a lot. You see and live with them, different people in body, and I said I am what you see. I am what you see. Very outspoken, blunt, to the point, and in all due respect, I can't pretend. You will soon find out later. Yes, character is number one, then personality number two. Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you, Deborah, for your comment.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So okay, so she brings up living with someone and dating someone. They're different. How do you? Okay, so you decide that you're going to be with somebody, right? So you're with that person, and then you guys get married. You've never lived together before, and then when now you get in the household, they change. Do you leave the marriage? Do you try to work it out? Do you just blow up and be like, who the heck is this? Like, this is not what you presented the whole time? Because it is true that people can change once you get in the home. So now do you feel betrayed? Do you feel like, oh my God, I thought I knew you, but I knew the person that you presented, but your real you is now coming out. And now I'm married and now I feel stuck.
Yeah, that's a hard one, but I think
Yeah.
it really depends on. I don't know if this is wrong or right because this is very difficult. I think
Yeah.
because of the representative, and even
But it's
if
real.
the person wasn't bringing the representative and it was the real person, how long have you been together before you decide to get married? Like, have you spent a lot of time together in a way that you can see all of his reactions or all of her reactions to everything? And I think sometimes people don't take time to um
Get to
really
know each
dig
other.
deep into getting to know somebody. I think for a lot of us, getting to know somebody is kind of on the surface. You know, what
Mhm.
do you like? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? How do you like to get up in the morning? How do you wash your car? Just kind of, it seems deeper than, hi, my name is blank and I like ice cream. You think that
Mm.
there's other things that you ask about the person that you're dating or getting to know or deciding that you want to get to know this person, and it's still superficial. You're not asking questions like how do you handle conflict? If I
Mhm.
were to do A, what would be your response? And even in that, it's kind of difficult because you're hoping that whoever you're asking this question to is telling you the truth. But I
It's being
think that goes
honest.
back to a
Mhm.
lot of stuff that we talk about and have talked about on our show, that you cannot bring the representative, and there has to be a time when the two of you sit down and say, you know what? We want to be in a committed relationship with each other, and our intention is our intention is just to go with the flow. Our intention is marriage. Our intention is um dating forever. Whatever our intention is has to be decided, and then you need to check your ego, check your everything, and just really be honest and say, hey, when I'm angry, this is what I do. When I'm angry, I don't want to talk to you or anyone else. I'm going to jump in my car and go for a drive. Or, yeah, or the other side is, when I'm angry, I want to deal with it right now. And my dealing with it is screaming in your face, right? So if you have to
Mhm.
decide, hey, when we are angry, we want to get it resolved right now, then that's going to work. I think so. I think so, because both of you have established, it might not be the best way to communicate, but at least you have established that your style of what you do when you're angry is the same. And then you can work on that, like not blowing up in each other's faces, right? I don't
Mhm.
know. That's just my thought on it.
I'd like to see that. I'd like for us to be able to talk about it, and then a scenario, a situation, a real life thing actually occurs, and I get to see it. And that's
Yeah.
why sometimes some people they make situations up, not just pranks. They actually make up a situation just to see how the other person is going to react. And of course, that's it could be bad because that person could say, "Why did you put me in that situation? You got me upset, and then now this, but you just wanted to see my reaction. Like that's not fair." you know
Mhm.
and then that could cause a situation too. So then everything that comes up, now you're looking like, is this real or is this something that you just brought up? And that I think that can cause a pause or bring some kind of conflict to a situation. But it's good, I think, that you know we talk about seasons, that you see your partner in every season. You see them
Mhm.
up, you see them when they're down, you see them when they're grieving, you see them, in every situation possible, for you to be able to determine, okay, is this somebody that I click with and I can spend the rest of my life with, if that's what you guys had decided.
Right.
Yeah,
I think it's
it's kind of like, is it worth ending my marriage because my partner's a slob?
Mhm.
you know,
Right.
Right.
you know,
I think okay. Sorry.
no, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say sometimes I think it comes down to basics. I don't know if people really actually know the difference between like personality versus character, and a lot of times people are falling in love with people's personality and necessarily looking over and looking overlooking negative characteristics that's going to drag the relationship to a negative space. So I think I wanted people like actually know like, okay, personality, what does this mean, and then what does character mean? Because I mean, it's similar but dissimilar in the same way. So I
I
was
agree
wondering that.
with you. I think
Mhm.
that that is our downfall, is that we don't really know what character or personality is at its core. I mean, I think that we could take any word, right?
Mhm.
And all three of us will have a different explanation for what that word means. And we'll look in the Webster
Exactly.
dictionary and we can all be wrong. And I think
Mhm.
that's what it is. A lot of us just don't know um,
What it is.
simple words that we should know if you're going to be diving into a relationship.
With
Yeah,
another human, yeah, with another person, with another human being that you're asking for asking a committed relationship from. So yeah, this basic understanding of just being in a relationship, I think we need to go back to basics with everything.
I
All right.
agree.
All right. How
Mhm.
about, okay, someone's strength? Is strength a personality or is strength a characteristic?
Strengthen what, like physical strength or strength?
Their core, their strength, they're strong, they're resilient. Okay. So is that personality or is that character?
I would be character.
Character. That's character.
Mhm.
Right. So you said that if we throw words out there. So, okay, how about if someone, mm, like you said, is respectful to everyone? If they're respectful, is that a personality or is that a character?
I think there's I think that's definitely character. Like personality is like somebody that is funny, extroverted,
Mm-hmm.
lazy, negative person, shy. Like so like you're describing the person. And then character it means like something like honesty, virtue, kindness, something that reveals them that they reveal in themselves over time, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it can be something uncommon too. So yeah.
So we just want to make sure that like you said, that everyone know. Okay, so etiquette. If someone has good etiquette, they respect. They have good etiquette. They're honest. They're trustworthy. We say that is their characteristic.
Mhm.
All right. All right. Fine.
I wonder, okay, so like for my example, different words, like the word etiquette, like what does that really mean? Does that mean that you have manners, or does that mean that you know which spoon is the salad spoon on a dinner table? Is that etiquette, or is that manners? Like, if is it etiquette that um if I was to meet the Queen of England, let's say, I don't know if anybody does this anymore, any Brits, but you meet the Queen, and do you bow, or or is or that's etiquette,
That's
right?
etiquette,
Right.
which is the
So
part.
right. So I think that that's a word that can be misconstrued, right? Etiquette and manners are not the same thing, right? Being mannerly, maybe you do like somebody that knows which fork to eat the salad one, which is dessert fork, which wine glass you can use. Is the first glass
Mhm.
the one for water? Is the second one for wine? Is the you know what I mean? And then or manners, when you walk into a room, which I think is manners, when you walk into a room and there's people in the room, you should be the one to say hello.
That's still etiquette, even though it's manners at the
That's still
same time.
etiquette. See?
Yeah, yeah, and
So
Right. And having manners.
So
and manners, right? So, eh, yeah, that's
yeah.
exactly what I mean. So I feel like we don't know
And I
the
think that's
real meaning.
I think that's a part of the character. Because if you
Could be.
know that, okay, that you hold the door for somebody, you do all these things that are polite and nice, it's because it was taught to you, or you just something that you've taken on for yourself, and you're like, this is just who I am. I'm polite. I'm nice. I speak to everybody. I get along with people as much as I can. So that's part of your character as well. But I can be funny at the same time, or I could be not so funny. That's
Mm-hmm.
my person coming out along with my character as well. So in relationships, we have to make sure that we know what's the core thing within us. Like what is it that I love? Like I've heard someone say, "Hey, I'm a cat lover, and I could never ever date somebody that doesn't like animals or cats." Because that's just their core. They just love animals. They love the outdoors. And if you don't love animals, I can't
But
be
that's
with
more of a preference. I don't know if that's even a character or personality trait.
you. But that was he said that was his character.
And that is exactly the
Okay, well,
example I'm talking about because it's not really a character.
that's not
It's more of
character.
a preference. I
That's a
prefer to date
preference.
someone who loves cats or animals, right? Does that mean that if he met someone, so I guess he's saying that if he met someone tomorrow and she was allergic to cats, he would cross her off the list
Yeah.
because he just cannot be with
Period.
somebody who doesn't love cats. So,
Period.
yeah, for him, he thinks that's a character flaw. And for us, we think it's a preference. I like people that like cats. I like people that like dogs, or I don't. That's very
Hmm.
tricky. People
Yeah, it
just,
is. It is.
it's very
I wonder if
tricky.
people like core beliefs are like something that you get taught from your parents and something that you practice and it's from some of your upbringing, cultural influences, morals, teaching. So it's all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, do people really um speak about that in dating? I don't know
You should. You should
nowadays.
talk about everything when you're dating, and that's the thing because
You should
if
talk
you
about it, but I don't think people do.
at the beginning or even in your courting stage, you're gonna find out about it in marriage. And when you find out about it in marriage, and it's an X, it's crossed out. You're like, oh my God, I wish I knew this. Why don't you know this? Because you didn't take the time to go deep enough, like you said, to be able to get to know the person. And I think people are rushing into these things. Some people are slowing down into relationships, especially after COVID. But people are rushing into, making the relationship solidify, and getting caught up with the looks, getting caught up with the appearance, and where we're going and what we're doing. And oh my God, he's taking me to, I don't know, Italy, and we're having fun there. We're doing. I'm learning you and having fun outside of our natural environment. And then when we come back, we're planning the next trip. So you don't really get to know that person in depth
Hmm.
because you have to specifically take the time to find out things, because when they come up, they're gonna come up eventually. They're gonna come up. What is it that you're gonna say?
I was going to say that he can fly you to Italy and he might be an atheist.
Right, right. Can you
True.
imagine?
It's flashy, it's
Yeah.
nice, it's wonderful, he's generous, but he doesn't believe in God and you do.
Mhm.
That would be a core value, right?
Very
I
yes.
think
Yeah.
that
Hmm.
if you don't get the time to know that, he might just put a ring on your finger in Italy and you just been swept up. And that's that. I'm not dogging the generous man that'll fly you to Italy. I'm sure there are generous men that'll fly you to Italy
They
that
will.
believe in he's
Yeah.
generous, he wants to pay all the bills. I'm sure that he exists because there's billions of people all over the
Billions
world.
of
We
people.
just kind of we just kind of um put ourselves with where we are, right? So we don't really think about outside of the state, outside of the country. We don't really think that way. I think a lot of us are like that.
Mhm.
So I'm saying that to say that you could find a generous man that'll fly you to Italy and you're just caught up in all of that. And he might be an atheist. And I think that's like the core thing that you need to find out. Then you get married and you're like, I'm ready to go to church. And he's like, oh, well, no, I don't do that.
Well, I don't do that.
Hmm.
Well, I'm about to go sleep because I'm going to the club later. And you're like,
What?
Wait,
You still club? My
what?
wait a
clubbing days
minute.
end in my
It's
20s.
been
Wait a
over.
Right. So you have to take the time, y'all. Crank it, DJ Smiles. Love you, sir. Deborah says sometimes it does not matter how long you date or live with someone. There are people who have their PhD in pretending. I
Mm-hmm.
know that shocked a lot of us as friends. May God help us. Exactly. It's like when you decide that you want to marry somebody, it's like you just gotta pray and just pray that it's the right one because you just never know. And people will pretend as much as they want to get what they want, and when they finally get it, then they show you who they are, and then you're just like stuck. Like I said before, you're just stuck. Now you gotta figure out: do I get a divorce? Do I stay in this?
Mm-hmm.
How do I? If that person is 360, doesn't want to be involved because they've gotten what they wanted, now how do you try to make this person? It's a lot. It's
Yeah,
too
you can't
much.
make.
You can't.
Sorry,
You
guys.
can't make
You
anybody
can't.
do
Yeah, we all
anything.
know you
I
can't
turned you up.
make. Oh, thank you. You can't make. Ooh, I'm
No,
down.
I want you to yeah,
Oh,
turn up.
okay, you can't make anybody change into what you want after you figure out it's not what you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't work.
Their
So
character, that's who they are. I mean,
yeah, right,
want
exactly.
to change.
You know,
Can't change that.
I agree with you, and you too, Dwan. That lots of people don't really know what we're doing, right? And we don't know the things we should ask about. I think we're still learning what we should ask, and unfortunately,
Yeah.
that comes with experience.
It does. It
You
does.
know,
It does.
unfortunately, that really does just come with experience and having the ability to once you had that experience that you learn something from it and you take something from it that's beneficial for you or
Hmm.
something leave behind what is not beneficial. Sorry, I think with every representative that you meet you will be more in tuned to recognizing the representative.
Yeah.
I actually do believe
Eventually.
that.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
actually believe that.
Yeah.
The more experiences you have with the representative,
Yeah.
the more times you listen to our show, the more books you read, the more experts you follow, the more knowledge you
Therapy.
give yourself, the more therapy,
Yeah.
very important part, the more therapy you get from the one, you will be more equipped to meet the representative. And I actually think that um, people that love God and people that love the universe,
Hmm.
um, and He made the universe, and people that want to say the universe, that you go through these situations in life. It's not just relationships; it's everything. It's
Yeah.
anything, and the goal is to learn from every one of them so that you get to that final destination where you're supposed to be, right? And I just wish that we could learn from them and not get stuck in them or learn from them and be able to continue to move forward, which I think is probably another thing that people struggle with, right, Juan? Where they get stuck and they don't know how or want to move on, or they pull up walls and blocks in a way to protect yourself. But
Hmm.
really, what you should be doing is and moving, you
Right.
know. So, yeah,
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
I
and
think people just get so caught up or tripped up into the looks first. They're not looking at personality. And when they did get pat through the looks to the personality, they don't get to the character because they're caught up in the looks and the personality because those things can draw you in and you think you're in love, but eventually the character, the essence of that person, the morals, all that stuff is going to come show up in the long run. So I think a lot of times we need to looks are great, personality is great. What's beyond that? We have to start looking past those things and knowing what those things are. So do some research, read some books, Yola was saying, you know, talk to people, ask questions, like not just what color do you like, other things. Maybe we do a show like what to ask. When do you
yes, I like it.
yes.
I think that's a great.
Yes.
That was a good.
We can
Mm-hmm.
do a show about what to ask, what questions to ask, not the surface questions, because we know all the surface questions. What's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? What's your favorite
Yep.
restaurant?
To
What do you
understand
like to
people's
do when
character.
you want
How do you
to
get to the character?
decompress?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
let's
talk about
talk about
your your traumas.
Yeah,
Ask,
that
talk about the traumas.
let's talk about what to ask when you decide you and this other
Right.
person, not just you, because that doesn't work. That's another story. What to ask so that you know that this is somebody that you're interested in, but then
Mm-hmm.
also what to ask once that person is interested in you too. What do you
Exactly.
ask that person to really get to that core, to break through from the into the representative, break past the representative into who that person is, and then say, hey, you know what? I really do like you. And I actually think, tell me if you guys think this, but I actually think that once you break through the representative, if that is somebody that you really want to be with, I think it makes your love stronger. I think that surface stuff, we like the same
Mhm.
color, is just that surface butterfly love that might last from three months to a year, maybe 2 years for some, that honeymoon phase that you keep talking
Mhm.
about.
Mhm.
Once you bust through that representative, and you start to ask those questions and you start to realize, wow, if we were in an argument, you would leave. And I'm
Mhm.
okay with that.
Or
Or
I'm not okay with that. Right.
I'm not okay with that. Or
Yeah,
if we were in an argument, you won't leave.
yeah. Are you
And
talking
we're gonna
about
figure it out.
leave as in end the relationship, or
No,
leave
I
as in
mean leave as in leave the
walk to the
room,
car?
walk away, take a
Okay.
walk, go for a drive, not leave the. So I think if the answer is I will just leave the relationship, then you don't need to be with that person.
No. It's a bit
We
extreme.
gotta talk about the good stuff, the traumas, like how how did you how were you brought up? Two people in a two family home. What was the dynamics of the parents? Do you have a good
Mhm.
a source of saying, you know what, this is a good relationship, or maybe you don't. Maybe I look at a lot of relationships, a lot of marriages, and I'm like, there are not many marriages that I could say are like the epitome of marriages, because there's always something, and
Mhm.
you look at it and you're like, okay, somebody will say, well, I have a person that I can look at and that we could emulate what they do, but a lot of times you only see what they want you to see, and when they go behind closed doors, you never know what's going on. So you can desire the good things from what you see, but never say that, you know what, I want to be like this person, or that marriage, because you just don't know what they're truly going through. They could be
Mhm.
abused at home. They could
Yeah.
uh, be a whole lot of things that they're going through, but when they come out on the public, there's a smile on their face. So
Yeah.
you know, I think that as you grow in a relationship, you're building who you want, who you are. You're building, the person is building themselves, and you're building together to make it the best for you both, because everybody's gonna have their own dynamics of a relationship.
Right. I think a great question to ask, and we can start now, is asking somebody like, can you just tell me like what was your home like when you were about 14, 15? That gives you a lot of insight into parenting, um, some ways of like how they would parent their own, like if you have children together, how they would parent their own children, what kind of morals they were brought up with, what kind of um, some like ideas and morals and characteristics that might have that got shaped with that question. So I think that's a really good question. So like tell me like what was your home like when you were about 14, 15? People are able to kind of remember that. It's always like a pivotal time in life. That's around like high school age. That's a lot going on. So that gives you some insight into the character. So I think that's a great question. And I think a lot of self reflection is missing too. Like we went always like asking like, okay, what does the other person in a relationship want? But it's not, we kind of missing out on like our own self reflection. Like, who are you? Like, what are your characteristics? What is your personality? Like really do some self reflective work. I think a lot of people need to do that as well.
I think you could go through a lot, even at that age, 13, 14, 15,
Mm-hmm.
and not have even a good home, and still become an adult and change the trajectory for your kids, and use even what you've seen, the negative, and say, you know what, I want to turn this into positive. That was a great example of not what to do, of what not to do. So now I'm going to look at that and I'm going to twist it, and I'm going to say, you know
Mm-hmm.
what, my father would abuse my mom. So now, I want to make sure I never abuse my wife, a son might say. or a woman might say, or a man would say, daddy never came home and daddy had another family somewhere out there, but he treated me well. He provided, he made sure we ate. I want to take that part of him, but the part that, I didn't like, I'm going to throw that away. And then you just, I'm saying before, you combine all these things that you've seen, the great, the good, the bad, you throw out the bad and you take all the good and combine it and make it into your great, relationship. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's
Hmm.
it's that every relationship has it's developed by those two people, and I don't think there's any cookie cutter way that a relationship should be at all, at all. Deborah says that's right. Mr. Come on, break the cycle. We have to,
We have
because
to.
if
Hmm.
we don't, then we're gonna end up in a rut, break of generational cycle. Let's do our final thoughts.
Already?
Yes,
Oh
I
man.
know,
Oh.
I know,
Yeah.
guys.
So this is the part that I don't like because I just love talking to you guys and I love to chop it up with
Chop it up.
Kimmy Kim and Dwan. But final thoughts. So my final thought is let's try to do some self-reflection, like what Dewan talked about. At the core, we weren't really meant to be here by ourselves, right? We were meant to
Mhm.
be with somebody. Believe it or not, we were. And but to get to that point, it's good to do self-reflection. It's good to look at yourself, see what flaws that you have, and then work on changing them and being better. Look into how you grew up at home. See if there's things that you want to take from it or not. And then use that to be your best self, I guess is a good way to put it. And then also learn to, for those of us that are in a relationship, learn to dig deeper, learn to be transparent with a little bit of caution, but also learn to dig deeper. Find out, stay curious, find out about that person, not the surface level stuff. Let's get deep as possible. That's our final thought.
It's good.
And then see what happens when you get on the other side.
Mhm.
Hopefully, it's good.
It's good.
Yeah. All right, go ahead, Dwan.
Oh, I'm next. Well, I think, like I said, definitely some self reflection. Really ask the question, who am I? What am I trying to get out of this relationship? A lot of times you have the answer to that. I think, like I said, looking past the looks, past the personality, really get into somebody's character. And like Yola said, do some digging, try to get beyond just the looks and the personality, because I know that's what draws people in. But to stay there, you have to really look at the character, make sure it's something that you can align with, something that you can um, go be behind. You want somebody to have a bad or negative character. It's going to show through the relationship and um, through the relationship. So yeah, so I think like um, going to therapy, like I always say, trying to work on those character flaws if you can identify them. And then if you don't think you have any, you probably need to go to therapy because you're not being honest with yourself. So just think about that. Yeah, but I think all the things that we talked about, looks, personality, characters, important in relationship, and just trying, like Yola was saying, or we were saying, making sure there's a balance there. So balance.
Mm, that's deep. A lot of people, many people will think that there's nothing wrong with them, because they just think that they're doing well, and they don't really have many flaws, and that's pretty true. To be able to look into who you are and do that self reflection and get back to the core of you and be that authentic you and figure out who that authentic you is, figure out what your purpose is. If you're in a relationship, you want to do what's right, not just for you, but what's right for the other person as well.
Hmm.
Become who you are or who you want the other person to be, and make sure you know what they want. It's not always just about you, it's about the union that you have. So, let's reflect, let's think back, let's not be selfish in who we are and what we want, but try to be a servant to that person. You might be like, oh, I don't like that word, but you want to serve. You want to be able to serve that person, and in turn, oh my God, if someone gives you great service, you're always going to want to reciprocate that, but at
Mm-hmm.
least be thankful. So, guys, have a great rest of your week. Ascension Radio, Reggae Global Radio, Viscosity Blend, You Choose Radio, Zion Highness Radio. Guys, we love you. Want to say thank you for being with us, our YouTube family and friends. Guys, have a great rest of the week, and we'll talk to you next week. See you soon, guys. Take care. Bye.